back to my channel. Today I have a mid-March message for all of the Aries out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it is not going to resonate with every single Aries out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Aries, let's go ahead and dive right into your mid-March message. So Aries, we're going to start out with exchanging gifts. Beautiful. Opening to discovery. Okay. And me talks, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So right off the bat, Aries, I feel that in this middle of the month of March, you're going to be doing a little bit of discovering. I really feel this is more like self-discovery. It's understanding the keys to your own significance, your own essence, how where your power resides, how powerful you actually are. And I love that the middle card, so I always start off with the middle card because it is the heart of the reading here, Aries. And I love how this is a keyhole and then you have opening to discovery. So the one thing about this card, when you're actually looking at it, and let me get this to focus a little bit here. But when you actually look at this beautiful card, the back part of the scenery is cloud. It's like dark and it's mountains. And so that often describes to me, what it tells me is that you're going through this massive discovery process. And a lot of times that could be challenges. Mountains represents challenges, obstacles that we might face. I love that this keyhole is a lot larger for you to actually see through, and notice how there's a lot of greenery, there's more life. So it's a new beginning. It's something that is a lot more hopeful, brightful, right? And the key is right within your grasp. And so I really feel that this where you're at right now in the middle of March is you're going through this massive discovery process where you're learning a lot more about what you're wanting out of life. Maybe it's going to be representative of people in your life, right? It's going to be you observing, you sort of collecting all of the data that has currently transpired from, the beginning of the month to now. And you're going to sort of be utilizing that to form your own ideas, to form your own beliefs. And it's ultimately about you integrating the information of self into what needs to be discerned. Okay. Now, the interesting thing here is that you have exchanging gifts with me talks. And so what this really tells me is that maybe Aries, you're not really one for giving to yourself. Maybe you're not really spending enough quality time with yourself. And I feel a lot of this has to do with self-care. It has to do with nurturing. The repairing the body, the mind, and the spirit is really about really taking into account everything within your environment, the outside surroundings, the people that are around you. It's really looking at each and everything here, Aries, as to, is it actually helping you repair your sense of accountability, your sense of self and self-worth, and your self-esteem? Is it helping you build towards a legacy, or is it just tearing down things and keeping you stuck and negative? And so I really feel that this, where you are right now, this middle of March, is you're really needing to sort of give to yourself, sort of allow yourself to discover habits, patterns, situations, people that you need to sort of let go, maybe repair, maybe really change, and sort of discern, is it good for me? Is it really helping me align to my purpose and my passion and what I'm here for? Or is it actually hindering me? So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper here with the tarot here, Aries. So I do feel that in this middle of March here, that you ultimately are working towards something that you want to become the master of. And this could be, you know, learning a new skill. It could be becoming an apprentice to someone that knows a little bit more than you. And I want you to understand that when it comes to really working on yourself. Now, whenever I see anything that talks about a discovery process with the Eight of Pentacles, it's always a master of self. It's learning how to master the self. And it's really about finding the balance in between all of the energies, right? And in this case, it's gonna be the energies of toxicity towards yourself and negativity. And it's really about allowing yourself to sort of recognize here, Aries, that, you know, that if you could find the balance between the various energies and sort of be very discerning about where you're going to spend your time, that would be very helpful. The Wheel of Fortune here in reverse just means that things are moving a little bit slower for you. Wheel of Fortune ultimately represents our fate and our destiny. And I feel that with it being in reverse, it's just that it's moving a little bit slower for you. It's taking a little bit more time. It doesn't mean that you're needing to be discouraged about the process or the length of time that it's taking from you to get to where you want to be. But I do want to tell you that I do feel that you are moving progressively on the right path. The one thing that's important for me to tell you here, Aries, with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse is that whatever comes up, do not resist it. The Wheel of Fortune is constantly moving, and it is always moving, and it may not be in our favor. It may be butting up against, you know, challenges and obstacles that we ultimately don't want to face. We want to sort of get over those humps as quickly as we can to get to our destination. But when you resist that, when you're fighting against the wave, or when you're turning against the flow, it's a lot harder. So the key phrase here is work smarter, not harder. Okay. I do feel that this discovery process is really taking you deep within yourself, and it is leading you towards uncomfortable terrain because it's unknown to you. It just means that, you know, you have to learn to trust your instincts and really let your instincts lead you towards what feels right to you, not what feels comfortable, because a lot of times what feels comfortable feels safe. And I feel in this particular instance, what your guides are really wanting you to understand is that safe isn't necessarily what is going to bring you the stability and the security that you are ultimately seeking. And I do feel that you will get through this, and you will become like the grand master of learning how to build a legacy and success. The King of Pentacles is someone that is very resourceful, has all of the knowledge and the resources available to him to be able to create the legacy that he ultimately is desiring here. And I do see this for you, Aries, but again, the important thing is for you to recognize, don't resist what comes up, even if it's uncomfortable. You have to learn to trust your instincts to push forward in order to find the stability and the success. And you'll understand that it'll be a lot easier. The transition, it'll go a lot smoother versus a lot harder. Remember, work smarter, not harder. So let's dive a little bit deeper here, Aries. So I do feel that it is important for you here with this Queen of Voices for you to cut out anything that is not in alignment with where you are going or who you are becoming. The Queen of Voices makes intellectual choices, and she utilizes her intuition to make those choices. Again, it's about following your gut instincts, really listening to your intuition. And I want to point out here that it's not going to be important for you. It's not going to be helpful for you to make choices based off of your emotions. So if you get angry about something or you get frustrated with something, it's not going to be the time for you to actually make a choice based off of how you are feeling, because that isn't going to help you in any way. If anything, it's going to hinder you. You're going to push up against a bunch of resistance, and you don't want that. Next, we have the Tower here, okay? With the Tower, this means sudden change. Now, what I want to point out here is that I feel that any resistance that you feel with the different energies, right? Like maybe you're used to behaving in a certain way, or maybe you're used to doing things in a certain specific way, and something's going to happen that's going to create sudden change, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and it's going to feel like it's not safe, right? And that is what you're wanting to sort of learn to find balance with. The reason for that is whenever a Tower shows up, it represents change that is out of our control. And there is no point in us trying to emotionally become try to control it from an emotional perspective. We have no control. When I see the Tower, it is often divine order to me. And that often means that a higher power is at play here. And that's because this higher power has more information, more detailed information than you do at the moment. And it's literally sort of setting things up to sort of position things in alignment to what you are desiring towards this legacy, okay? You now have the Seven of Materials, which is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Again, I do feel that the ultimate message here on the opening to discovery is the message of you understanding here, Aries, that any type of change, any type of challenge or obstacle that comes up, especially when it's related to maybe projects that you are working on or your finances, right? The Seven of Materials is often that pause. It's a time where we have to sort of take a reflection on all of the efforts that we've been putting into certain things that we're working on. And we have to ask ourselves, is this really worth it? Am I really getting what I truly want out of this? And I feel a lot of times this is going to come to play when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your finances, and when it comes to the relationships that you have in your life here. The interesting thing is I don't see any cups here. Well, I see this one right here, the 10 of Emotions, which is the 10 of Cups. And the interesting thing here is that you're wanting to have this sense of fluidity here, Aries, where you're wanting to be extremely happy and satisfied with where you are, with what you've accomplished, and with who you're with. And the thing is that if all you do is focus on how things are not transitioning the way that you want them to, when things are moving slowly, instead of trying to take control of something you absolutely have no control over, you really need to ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What is this trying to tell me? What do I need to learn in order to grow from this experience so that I know that the next time I face this same challenge or this same obstacle, I don't go through the same patterns or the same behaviors or the same mistakes, right? I feel that ultimately what your guides are really wanting you to know right now, Aries, is that you're needing to go with the flow. You're needing to find balance in the instability of things not going the way that you want them to. And it's about understanding that you don't always have control. And instead of trying to force things to fit the way that you want them to fit or move the way that you want them to move, it's time that you actually reflect on how that is affecting your own growth and your own expansion and your own experiencing, because then you're not ultimately giving to yourself. If anything, you're causing more damage to your mind, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, because you create stress. And this is what they're wanting you to know. With the 9 of Wands here and the 3 of Materials, this is about really looking at things from the perspective of this is everything that I've accomplished, taking pride in everything that you've worked on, even the smallest, tiniest thing, but also recognizing that, you know what, there's only so far that I can go. And I have to be willing to step beyond what I can't see in order for me to ultimately create the legacy or the things that I'm wanting to build or create. You know, the Nine of Wands really speaks about moving beyond your perceived limitations. And I feel that when we get stuck in our own comfort zones, we get so afraid of stepping beyond that comfort zone or stepping outside of the box in order for us to, you know, achieve something in a different way. And I think it's because a lot of times we get so set on things being the way that we envision them in our mind instead of recognizing that our team or a higher power has clearer vision. They can see things and sort of prevent us from going through certain challenges or going through certain mistakes that we're not privy to. The Three of Materials is about communication and it's about collaboration. It's about community. And I feel that ultimately this is wanting you to sort of collaborate and commune with your own spirit team to build an actual practice around how you deal with stress, how you deal with the uncomfortableness, or how you deal with stepping outside of your own comfort zone here. And I feel that when you can build this sense of stability and have this greater rapport with your spirit team, you will be in flow instead of resisting what is coming, instead of fighting and working harder and not smarter. So your message for this mid-March, Aries, is work smarter, not harder. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.